first up, apologies, because I said I'd be back after the cup game and I wasn't. I'm currently in the process of moving. And it's absolutely mental. I've just got so much to do and I just didn't have the time to. I did watch the game. Obviously we beat Man United, which is fantastic. And then the excitement wore off after 15 minutes because after the draw, I found out we've got Man City. So that excitement wore off pretty quickly, but it was nice while it was there. But on to Leeds, which ironically is where I'm moving to. So I'm just a bit triggered by this whole thing. But yes, on to Leeds. The lineup, absolutely fine. Our strongest 11, can't argue. I'd spoken to a few people before the game and they wanted Areola to start. And obviously Moyes has so much faith in Fabianski. I just can't see it happening myself. I think I would like to see Areola personally start in more Premier League games. But it's doing nothing against Fabianski, just Areola's brilliant. Against Man U, he was just genuinely fantastic. He's just brilliant. So I would like to not see him wasted just on cup games, and I'd like to see him in more Europa League games. Because obviously Fabianski starts. So also I can see Moyes just has a ton of belief in Fabianski, which I'm not against, because listen, in the first half, Fabianski made some massive saves. In fact, there was big saves all round. Fabianski read them so well. He really did. And Leeds did what Leeds do. They came out and they instantly pushed. And they pushed and they attacked and they were fast and they were intense. And they got us on the counter a lot. We could not match them in the first half. Souček made an error for the first Leeds goal. He gifted it to them. He really did gift it to them, and it was disappointing because it was silly. For me, Souček hasn't been himself since the Euros. I don't know if anyone agrees with me, but he's been tired. Listen, he's been overplayed. So that is definitely going to be part of it. We've all said it. Lack of rotation is going to lead to players being burnt out. And I think Souček is definitely one of those. He just hasn't been himself. Another issue I had in the first half was we kept giving Rafinha chance after chance after chance. Cresswell couldn't cope with him. He made Cresswell look terrible. We just couldn't cope. And he was getting too many chances to shoot, and that's where all their chances came from. It was just frustrating. There was too much space. Cresswell was overwhelmed. And to be fair, most of the team was overwhelmed in the first half. We did create chances. I'm not going to sit here and say we played terribly in the first half, because I actually don't think we did play terribly in the first half. We were creating chances, we were just unable to finish them. Like, for example, Fornals had such a great chance before half time, and it really was something that should have gone in. It should have gone in without question, and he just couldn't finish. And I think that was a theme. It looked a little bit, dare I say it, in the first half like West Ham of old. It was a little bit West Ham of old for me. We were creating it, but we weren't finishing it as we should. My stand-up player in the first half was Benrahma. I'll say it now, Benrahma was my man of the match because he was just everywhere. He didn't slow down. He was just fantastic. He was very, very good. We had a much, much better second half. Benrahma and Bowen were absolutely fantastic. Souček redeemed himself after my little moan about him, but he did redeem himself by getting a goal. But unfortunately, that was disallowed because Antonio failed Meslier, and it was a clumsy foul with his arm, and it was disallowed, which unfortunately so it was a very good goal. And we needed at that point to be back in it, because at this stage I was getting a little bit worried because Leeds didn't have the intensity they had in the first half in the second, but they were still good. They were very good. I do feel at points Leeds were targeting Antonio to get him sent off. Obviously, he's had a previous red, and they were going for his big arms is what they were doing. I'd argue they were walking into his big arms to try and get a foul, to get him sent off, which I understand it. Antonio is a player that teams fear, and quite rightly. Bowen scored. I mean, it was an own goal. He didn't score, but he did actually claim it as his own, which, listen, so do I, which is what we needed. It is just what we needed. Our energy was far better in the second half. We looked like we wanted to win. We were more in it. We were more focused, and we were zoned in. We looked like we wanted to score and wanted to win, more importantly. Antonio got a goal and we were rewarded with that focus to just get in there and carry on and not give up, and it was a fantastic goal. But what I really want to talk about is Rice's movement through the midfield to set that goal up. It was just, he is class. Anyone who criticizes him for only going side to side is just blind, because that run was just, he's just class. He's developed so much since, I mean, he's been developing anyway, but obviously since he played for England, since the Euros and since World Cup qualifiers, he's just developing as a player, and he is just blossoming, and every time he is getting better and better and better, and I'm praise everyone and everything that we have him in our team, because he's just such a class player. It was such a big change from the first half. You know, we looked a bit lethargic in the first half. The second half, not at all. Leeds lost their intensity in the second half, which is to be expected. They went in the first half playing incredibly hard and fast, and they were just putting everything into it, and there's no way they were going to keep that up the whole way through, and we were able to take advantage of that because we just didn't give up. It's a massive 3 points considering how we did play in the first half, and I thought we might lose this one, especially since Leeds actually haven't won a game since this season started, and that was always a little bit of a jinx for West Ham, because anytime we face a team that hadn't got a win, usually got a win out of us, we gifted that one to them. But for me, most importantly, it is games like this that show how far we've come, and it is for a couple of reasons. It's the not giving up, because 1-0 a few seasons ago, 2 seasons ago, would have been a nail in the coffin, an absolute nail in the coffin for West Ham. Our heads would have dropped. We would have lost all focus, and that just didn't happen. And also, maybe more importantly, is our disappointment. So my disappointment in the second half is I thought we were slow and we were lethargic, and it was nothing like when we played before, when we played United before. It was nothing like that, and it was sad to watch. And for me, that's a positive, because it shows that we know how well we can actually do, and that's such, and credit David Moyes and his staff for that, because he has brought us so far. We're now disappointed when we play not badly, but just not as good as we know we can. And for me, that is such a positive to take away from today, is how far we have come as a team to push on, carry on, and grab a win. I mean, Antonio's goal was in the 89th. You know, we just didn't stop. We did not know when to say no. And that is such an amazing thing to see after seasons of just dropped heads and just them playing frustratingly and making mistakes. You know, we didn't. We just zoned in on what we wanted. And for me, that is just apart from the 3 points, is the best thing that I feel we've taken from this game, is that we just don't know when to say no. And that was fantastic. So next game is our Europa game, I do believe, although please tell me I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm almost certain it's our next Europa game. I'll definitely be back for that. So I will see you soon.